sold out in 30 minutes. Center court moved. 1 million roaring fans packed inside SoBi Stadium. This is not just another tennis match. This is revenge. This is revenge. This is Alex Eala's chance to erase the haunting memory of a 0-6, 6-3, 6-2 Australian Open nightmare that left her stunned and heartbroken. The Filipina sensation who just conquered Jessica Pegula, Naomi Osaka, and Alina Svitolina now faces the one woman who handed her the most painful defeat of her career. Serious, and the entire world is watching. Who will survive this Canadian Open war? It was January 2026, Melbourne, the Australian Open. Melbourne. Alex Eala stepped onto the court for her Grand Slam main draw debut, and for one glorious set, she looked unstoppable. She demolished Alycia Parks 6-0 in the opening set, playing flawless, aggressive tennis that had the crowd roaring. The Filipina sensation was on fire, and the tennis world was witnessing the arrival of a superstar. Excited. Then everything crumbled. Parks, the big serving American, didn't panic. She didn't fold. Instead, she adjusted, fought back, and methodically dismantled Eala's game, taking the next two sets, 6-3, 6-2, to complete one of the most stunning comebacks of the tournament. Eala walked off that court in shock. She had been so close, she had dominated, and yet she had lost. Sad. That defeat stung more than any other loss in her career because she knew she had let it slip away. The memories of that match have haunted Eala for months. The missed opportunities, the unforced errors at crucial moments, the feeling of watching victory slip through her fingers. But here's what makes this rematch so compelling. That loss changed Eala. Sad? Thoughtful. It hardened her. It made her realize that talent alone isn't enough. You need mental toughness. You need resilience. You need the ability to close out matches when your opponent is down. Since that devastating defeat in Melbourne, Eala has transformed herself into one of the most feared players on the WTA Tour. Determined, she has beaten 6 consecutive opponents who had previously defeated her, turning her revenge tour into a statement of dominance. Now she faces the woman who started it all, the one who taught her the most painful lesson of her young career. This isn't just another match. This is personal. This is a chance to prove that the Alex Eala who walked off that court in Melbourne is dead, and a new, unbreakable champion has risen in her place. The question is, has she truly learned that lesson? Or will the ghosts of Melbourne come back to haunt her on the hard courts of Toronto? Pause. Since that heartbreaking Australian Open defeat, Alex Eala has undergone a transformation that has shocked the tennis world. She didn't just improve, she evolved into a completely different player. The 21-year-old Filipina has compiled an incredible resume of victories over some of the sport's biggest names, collecting 7 wins over top 10 opponents and proving that rankings and reputations mean nothing once she finds her rhythm. Astonished, her historic run at Wimbledon saw her topple defending champion Iga Swiatek, Maya Joint, and Renata Zarazua before advancing to the 4th round. But it was her performance at the DC Open that truly announced her arrival as a legitimate title contender. Eala navigated a brutal draw that would have broken lesser players. Excited, she defeated reigning Olympic and Asian Games champion Jing Qinwen in the round of 32. She took down defending champion and home favorite Leylah Fernandez in the round of 16. She swept past second seed and world number 10 Alina Svitolina in the quarterfinals. She dismantled 4-time Grand Slam champion Naomi Osaka in the semifinals. And in the final, she outlasted world number 3 Jessica Pegula in a 3-set thriller, 4-6, 6-4, 6-0, to capture her maiden WTA Tour title. That victory catapulted her to a career-high world number 20 ranking, making her the highest-ranked Filipina tennis player in history. Crowd cheering. But what makes Eala so dangerous now isn't just her improved ranking, it's her mentality. She no longer plays with fear. She plays with belief. She plays with the confidence of someone who knows she belongs among the elite. I've been told that it's going to be a full house. Eala said in a press briefing ahead of the match. "I'm really very excited to see and experience the atmosphere. It's nice to see that the Filipino community is really showing up and they're enjoying tennis." The Alex Mania that has swept through the Philippines has now crossed borders, with thousands of fans expected to pack Sobeys Stadium in Toronto. Eala is no longer just a rising star, she's a global phenomenon. And she's ready to prove that her Washington triumph was just the beginning. While all eyes are on Alex Eala, there's a dangerous woman standing on the other side of the net who has absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain. Serious. Alycia Parks may not have the headlines or the fanfare, but she possesses something far more dangerous: the power to ruin dreams. The 25-year-old American is currently ranked number 71 in the world, but rankings can be deceiving. Parks owns a WTA singles title, a WTA 1000 doubles championship, and multiple WTA challenger crowns. Pause. She's a proven champion with the firepower to trouble anyone on the WTA tour. Her greatest weapon? A serve that is widely considered one of the most powerful in the women's game, capable of shortening points and keeping opponents on the defensive. Parks has already proven she can beat Eala on the biggest stage. At the Australian Open, she didn't just beat the Filipina, she broke her spirit, coming back from a 0-6 first-set demolition to win the match. That kind of mental fortitude doesn't disappear. Serious, Parks knows she has the psychological edge. She knows that somewhere in the back of Eala's mind, the memory of that Melbourne collapse still lingers, and she will do everything in her power to exploit it. Pause. Parks also arrives in Toronto with momentum of her own. She took down qualifier Victoria Jimenez Casanseva 6-4, 6-4 in the first round of the Canadian Open, showcasing her ability to perform under pressure. While Eala received a first-round bye as the 25th seed, Parks had to earn her spot in the showdown. Determined. That extra match time could be crucial. Parks is already battle-tested on these courts, while Eala is stepping onto Canadian soil for the first time in this tournament. But perhaps the most dangerous thing about Parks is her lack of pressure. She's not supposed to win this match. The world expects Eala to cruise to victory. Parks has nothing to lose and everything to gain. She can swing freely, take risks, and play with the reckless abandon of someone who thrives as the underdog. Thoughtful. That makes her incredibly dangerous. Eala knows this. Her team knows this. And that's why this match is far from a foregone conclusion, and in cool. Serious. Parks is a silent assassin, lurking in the shadows, waiting to strike when Eala least expects it. This rematch between Alex Eala and Alycia Parks is far more complex than rankings or recent form suggest. Several critical X factors will determine who emerges victorious from this Canadian Open war. Pause. First and foremost is the revenge factor. Eala has been on a mission to avenge every loss she's suffered this season, and she has successfully beaten the last 6 opponents who had previously defeated her. That streak is remarkable. It speaks to her growth, her adaptability, and her hunger. Determined. But revenge can be a double-edged sword. If Eala comes into this match too emotional, too eager to prove a point, she could lose the composure that has made her so successful. She needs to treat Parks like any other opponent, not like a personal demon that needs to be exercised. The second X factor is the crowd. Tickets for Eala's match sold out in just 30 minutes, forcing tournament organizers to move her from the grandstand to the massive center court. Tournament director Carl Hale confirmed that Eala probably sold upwards of 5,000 tickets, far exceeding the grandstand's 2,800-seat capacity. Astonished. An estimated 10,000 fans will pack the stadium, with the overwhelming majority cheering for Eala. That kind of support can be electrifying, or it can be suffocating. Eala has embraced the pressure, saying she's excited to experience the atmosphere. Crowd cheering. But the weight of expectation from millions of Filipinos watching from home could also create nerves that Parks, playing as the villain, will happily exploit. The third X factor is the court conditions. Former world number 8 Danielle Collins noted that the courts in Washington were incredibly fast, while the courts in Toronto are a bit slower. Mahaz. That transition could favor Eala, who has proven she can adapt to different surfaces. But it could also neutralize some of her aggressive game, allowing Parks' powerful serve to dominate. A slower court gives Parks more time to set up her shots, which could be a significant advantage. Serious? The fourth X factor is fatigue. Eala's Washington final was delayed due to rain and played over 2 days. She then had to travel immediately to Toronto with little time to rest. While she is young and fit, the physical and mental toll of back-to-back tournaments could catch up with her. Thoughtful. Parks, who played and won her first-round match in Toronto, has already acclimated to the conditions. The final X factor is what lies ahead. If Eala beats Parks, she likely faces Wimbledon champion Linda Noskova in the third round. That knowledge could cause Eala to look past Parks, a fatal mistake against a player of her caliber. Parks knows this is her moment, her chance to remind the world that she's not just a footnote in the Alex Eala story. She's a champion in her own right, and she's coming to Toronto to prove it. Determined, this match will be decided by which player handles these X factors better. After analyzing every angle of this explosive Canadian Open showdown, one thing is clear. Alex Eala is the heavy favorite, but Alycia Parks is the most dangerous opponent she could possibly face at this moment. Serious? The numbers tell a compelling story. Eala is ranked number 20 in the world, a career high that reflects her incredible rise. She has beaten 7 top 10 opponents this season and just dismantled a brutal draw in Washington that included Olympic champions, Grand Slam winners, and the world number 3. Excited. She is playing the best tennis of her life. Parks, ranked number 71, has beaten Eala before. She knows exactly how to rattle the Filipina's game. She has the serve to keep Eala off balance and the mental toughness to withstand a first-set onslaught. She has nothing to lose and everything to gain. But here's the difference. The Alex Eala stepping onto center court in Toronto is not the same player who collapsed in Melbourne. Betty Eala was nervous, inexperienced, and unsure of herself on the biggest stage. Determined. This Eala is a champion. This Eala has beaten the best in the world. This Eala has proven she can close out matches against elite competition. She has learned from her mistakes, and she has turned those lessons into victories. The crowd will be overwhelmingly in her favor. The momentum is on her side. And perhaps most importantly, she has already avenged 6 previous losses. What's one more? Canned. Crowd cheering. Parks will make this match difficult. She will push Eala to the limit. She will test her mentally, physically, and emotionally. But in the end, Eala's superior form, her home court advantage, even in a foreign country, and her burning desire for redemption will carry her through. Confident. Expect Eala to win in 3 sets, similar to her Washington final. A tough first set, a gritty second set, and a dominant third set where she runs away with the match. The scoreline, 6-4, 4-6, 6-2 in favor of Eala. She will exercise her Australian Open demons, send the Toronto crowd into a frenzy, and set up a mouth-watering third-round clash with Wimbledon champion Linda Noskova. Excited. This is Eala's moment. This is her time. And she's not going to let it slip away again. Alex Eala wins. The revenge tour continues. Alex Mania shows no signs of slowing down. If you enjoyed this latest tennis update and want to stay ahead of the biggest stories in the world, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe the channel right now. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss a moment of the action. See you in the next video.